Good afternoon and welcome to Patriot Paths. My name is Lake Green, and today we are checking out the Willcox and Badgley Family Cemetery located within the deserted village of Feltville in Union County, New Jersey. Let's check it out. And so while the village of Feltville was built in the 1840s and actually was a functioning company town that was devoted to the production of paper goods and printing, there were two families that lived in this area well before the village of Feltville ever even existed. In the early 1700s, when this area was part of Essex County, as Union County would not be created until 1857, the Badgley and Willcox families came here and settled in this region, which is really part of the Watchung Mountains here in northern New Jersey. And Peter and Phoebe Willcox built a sawmill to produce lumber that was required by the quickly increasing and expanding farming and agricultural operations throughout Essex County at the time. This lumber mill, sawmill, existed for quite some time, and hundreds of acres of woods was eventually cleared and used for lumber. Mining was another operation that existed here at the time at a later date. But the Willcox and Badgley families lived here on this property for generations. During the American Revolution, both the Willcox and the Badgleys were patriots that served openly in the effort for American independence and supported the Patriot cause. Alright, so after a very brief walk from two structures that were built when the village of Feltville was in operation, on the top of this location, once known as Peter's Hill, is the family cemetery for the Willcox and Badgleys. Here, part of the Watchung Reservation in Union County, New Jersey, northern New Jersey. So we'll take a look at this marker before examining some graves. Peter's Hill, a colonial settlement. Sometime in the early 18th century, more than a century before David Felt established Feltville, Peter Willcox, his wife Phebe Badgley Willcox, and members of their families moved from Long Island to the Watchung Mountains, an outlying section of the Elizabethtown Tract. The Watchungs were named by the native Delaware Indians, also known as the Lenni Lenape, who called them Wok-unks, or High Hills. The Willcox family settled near the Blue Brook, also known as the East Branch of the Green Brook, on a land grant of more than 400 acres, and their homestead became known locally as Peter's Hill. Peter Willcox farmed and established mills on the Blue Brook, creating a mill pond to supply his mills with power. These mills served scattered farmsteads in the area, as well as the mine, which Peter may have worked for a time. While historical documentation is scant, members of both families served in the American Revolution. Subsequent generations remained in the area. Here is a closer look at some graves. There's Phebe Badgley Willcox, who died November 22nd, 1776. Phoebe, wife of Peter. Joseph Badgley was a cousin. Joseph Badgley, New Jersey, Private, 1st New Jersey Regiment, Continental Line, Revolutionary War. Passed away December 5th, 1785. So, cousin Badgley served in the Revolution and passed away shortly after its conclusion. He was nearly 60 years old, having been born in 1727. So he was 58 years old about when he passed away. And this is William Willcox, likely a brother of John and Peter, as he was born in 1724, or a relative at least. And he passed away at the age of 76 in 1800. He was a Revolutionary War veteran, New Jersey State Militia, and a judge advocate. And here is the grave of John Willcox Sr., who passed away November 22nd, 1776, at 49 years old. This is the only grave remaining at this cemetery that is original and dated to 1776. So all the rest here that we have shown are later markers. Mr. Willcox served in the New Jersey Militia as part of the Light Horse troops, also known as mounted soldiers or cavalry. Records show that he served from January 1776 through his death in November, and he was part of Captain Meeker's company. Truly heartbreaking story, as the 49-year-old Patriot was likely part of the American forces that retreated through New Jersey in the fall of 1776, following the fall of Fort Washington in Manhattan Island and the fall of Fort Lee. And for those of you who may be into colonial gravestones, art, carvings from this era, the symbol on the top of this original stone is a cherub. And the cherub is supposed to be like an angel who hopefully will bring the soul and Christian beliefs and Christian tradition to salvation through Jesus Christ. And so it's a positive symbol on the top of the gravestone.